Summary: Some Love is Blind Season 6 couples faced rocky relationships due to various issues and lack of communication. Sarah Ann's DMs to Jeremy caused conflicts and led to explosive arguments among the cast members. Matthew's behavior in the pods made him the biggest villain of Love is Blind Season 6. Love is Blind Season 6 has been one of the most dramatic seasons ever, and things are ramping up with each episode, presenting some of the most awkward and messy moments ever. 5 couples left the pods engaged for a romantic getaway, ready to face real-world issues as a team. Their relationship started taking different turns as the couples navigated various problems, including views on marriage and family planning methods. One of the most famous incidences in the pods was Matthew Daliba's attitude toward the experiment. Not only did he not want to answer any questions, but the Love is Blind cast member was also saying the same things to Amber Grant and Amber Ad Desiree. Matthew tried convincing Ad their connection was strong, suggesting they should leave the show together. He made it clear to Ad that she was his only option before discovering he was saying the same things to the other Amber, prompting Ad to break off their connection. However, throughout Love is Blind Season 6, there have been messier and more awkward situations than this. Related 20 Best Reality TV Shows. Right now television is being impacted by the ongoing entertainment industry strikes, leaving many turning to reality TV. What are the best shows right now? 8. Sarah Ann hitting Jeremy's DM. Sarah Ann is a savage. Laura Dadisman met with Love is Blind contestant Jessica Vestal and revealed Sarah Ann had DM'd Jeremy Lutinsky, indicating she would love to meet him if he ever had doubts about his decision. According to Laura, Jeremy reunited with Sarah Ann after a night out with friends. Sarah Ann had also dated Jeremy in the pods before he settled down with Laura. When she confronted him, it led to an explosive argument between the Love is Blind Season 6 couple. Jeremy reassured Laura he hadn't done anything suspicious since he had shared his location with her, showing where he was. Nonetheless, Laura had enough proof that he was doing something shady, and they eventually broke up before their wedding day. 7. Ad confronting Sarah Ann. Ad calls out Sarah Ann. The Love is Blind Season 6 cast reunited at a lake party, and things got pretty interesting due to a couple of love triangles. One of the most interesting was the relationship between Ad and Sarah Ann. Ad confronted Sarah Ann for allegedly sending messages to Jeremy while he was still engaged to Laura. She pulled Sarah Ann aside to try and get details from her, but Sarah Ann wasn't going to add any additional information, via Love is Blind Netflix. Sarah Ann tried justifying why she slid into Jeremy's DM and later vented to him in a private conversation on the dock. She was hurt since the Love is Blind women painted her as a terrible person. Later, Sarah Ann went on a jet ski ride with Jeremy immediately after his engagement with Laura ended. 6. The bean dip joke. Laura's joke went too far. Laura introduced the bean dip concept, and when it all started, it was nothing more than a funny joke. However, that all changed after this reached the men while they were on vacation. It turned into jealousy, and arguments escalated among the cast members. Laura encouraged Jeremy to bean dip Ad, and Clay was livid learning about the joke and wasn't pleased. Jeremy reassured Clay he wouldn't have gone ahead with the challenge with AD, adding he wasn't offended by it. 5. Kenneth on the phone. The lack of connection. Close. Kenneth Gorham and Brittany Mills had an undeniable connection in the pods. They connected over shared backgrounds as they both lost a parent and had strong faith. However, their romance quickly turned rocky once the couple entered the real world and struggled to connect. During their romantic getaway in the Dominican Republic, Kenneth and Brittany's awkward silence and lack of communication showed there was trouble in paradise. The two couldn't engage in proper or meaningful conversations. After returning to Charlotte, North Carolina, Brittany showed her affectionate and charming personality, whereas Kenneth spent most of the time on his phone. At one point, Kenneth was so engaged on his phone that he completely ignored Brittany when she asked him a question, seemingly disinterested in their conversation. Eventually, Kenneth and Brittany split, with Brittany stating she no longer desired him as much as she did in the pods. 4. Clay talks about cheating. He makes it sound like it is hereditary. Close. Clay Gravesand and Ad's conversation about cheating constantly came up throughout Love is Blind Season 6, which presented many red flags. Clay has been warning AD that he will cheat on her by blaming it on not having a stable household even though his parents were married for 24 years. Clay opened up about how his father took him on some of his infidelity trips, adding that he had never seen a faithful black man. The way I did grow up with my father, and how I seen, cheating as a regular thing. My dad's a suave guy, always been good with women. And it was like a ding. You know, the fact that my mom and dad were like best friends, but my dad still, unfortunately, he was cheating. 3. Johnny birth control conversation. Amy and Johnny intimacy roadblock. Close. Johnny McLantire wanted to ensure he didn't have to deal with an unplanned pregnancy with his fiancée Amy Cortez. The couple encountered their first conflict after their post-engagement vacation in the Dominican Republic. The duo revealed they hadn't had a sexual encounter since Amy wasn't on birth control. Johnny stated that he didn't want kids before he got to know Amy and wanted to be emotionally and financially ready for parental roles. Amy indicated she had never been on birth control pills, with the couple discussing the possibility of Johnny getting a vasectomy, an idea he didn't like. Johnny also added that all the women he had previously dated were always on birth control, via Love is Blind Netflix. While talking to the cameras, Amy indicated that she liked how regular everything was in her body, with Johnny adding, "We need to figure something out before we could take the next step. This could be a make or break between us, and I don't want it to be." 2. Matthew walking out on Sarah Ann. Matthew the villain. Matthew entered the pods with a list of 15 questions and wasn't prepared to respond to any of them. His date with Sarah Ann was one of the most awkward moments on Love is Blind. Matthew asked her to pick a number and left midway through the conversation when her response got longer. Matthew was the biggest villain in Love is Blind Season 6 after doting AD and Amber, only for them to realize he was saying the same things to both of them. 1. The mom's golden moments. The Love is Blind Season 6 moms understand. Ad's mom met Clay for the first time in episode 10 of Love is Blind. Clay didn't hold back on his strained relationship with his parents and how much it affected his dating life. Ed's mom urged him to leave his parents' issues behind and work on himself. She reminded him that his parents' history had nothing to do with the foundation he created for his future partner, via Love is Blind Netflix. Clay gave Ed's mother the impression that he was worth fighting for, making her overlook all the red flags Clay was showing. When Jeremy talked to his mother about his love triangle scenario with Sarah Ann and Laura, he perhaps thought she'd take his side. However, Jeremy's mother quickly noticed her son's role in the mess, telling him, "You're lucky, it wasn't me." The Love is Blind star's mom held him accountable, stealing the show at that moment. Love is Blind Season 6 is currently streaming on Netflix. Sources: Love is Blind Netflix, Instagram. Love is Blind Netflix, Instagram. Love is Blind Netflix, Instagram. Love is Blind reality TV romance. 15 men and women from the same city come together to compete in Love is Blind, a reality dating show created for Netflix. The show sees couples meet and fall in love with a twist. They'll only meet face to face if one of the two accepts a marriage proposal. If they accept, they'll move in with their partner, meet their families, and ultimately decide if they want to say "I do." Cast: Vanessa Lachey, Nick Lachey. Release date February 13, 2020. Streaming services: Netflix.